All right, folks, I'm going to say my goodbyes. Have fun. I'm going to enjoy watching y'all.
Thanks for joining us, Sammy.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Okay, bro.
Oh, we are going to start on time, y'all. This is so exciting. All right, everybody, we are now live on Facebook and we are recording. This is the Mother Tongues Multilingual Open Mic. El canto del coquí pinta colores como el flamboyán. El flamboyán nace de mi cabeza, sus flores quemando tintes para formar parte de la brisa. Rival de la amapola, rojos y amarillos iluminando mi cuerpo que es un templo, una estructura de aguas benditas y bosques inmaculadas talladas por las diosas corriendo por mi ser, evidencia de que existe la perfección, la envidia del mundo aunque mis bordes sigan encadenadas, cadenas que aprietan mis venas moviéndose como río Tanamá y el río Grande de Loíza, mi sangre se derrama por los montes de mi núcleo, que grita por las cascadas de la cordillera central, llantos espantando a los disfrazados y expandiendo a mis alas, que llegan de costa a costa protegiendo a mis hijos como una cúpula tejada por los mares calientes, la cuna de mi vientre, el lugar donde empieza la vida, con un látigo hecho de barriles y un espíritu formando por bomba. Sé que la tierra es solo tierra, pero también patria es patria. Es patria de mi madre, de mi padre, de mis ancestros. Es patria de mí. La tierra bendecida y venerada por todos. La tierra es tierra, pero esta tierra es sagrada. All right, everybody. My name is Tatiana Figueroa Ramirez, and on behalf of the American Poetry Museum, I want to welcome you to the Mother Tongues Multilingual Open Mic. This is the October edition. So if you don't know, the American Poetry Museum is a very, very dope space here in where I'm located in the greater Washington, D.C. area. We're in D.C. And it really does a great job of bringing community together, bringing discussion around art, bringing artists together, and allowing a lot of dialogue to happen in that sense. So I'm actually going to be dropping the link to the American Poetry Museum website and the American Poetry Museum PayPal so that you can donate if you feel so inclined to. We are a nonprofit, and these COVID times have made us pivot to this virtual space. But like I always say, I'm very grateful for this virtual space that has allowed us to bring together more people than just the DC community or people who are just passing by. Like tonight, we've got folks out in Chile, we got folks out in Beirut, we've got people all over the world. And in the past, we've had people globally. One of the folks here tonight, it is like 1:30 in the morning for them, and they're here. They're showing up to perform and be part of this community. So we're really happy about that. Now, in case you're interested, and let's say this is your first time at the Mother Tongues Multilingual Open Mic and you enjoy yourself and you're like, this is really dope, I want more. Just so you know, the Mother Tongues Open Mic happens on a monthly basis. So if this is your first time coming to us, don't worry, we got more coming to you. November, December, we've got more. If you can't wait until November, you can also look at our old videos from past months and check out what the American Poetry Museum has done. Let's say that's not enough for you. This Sunday, we've got a reading coming up for you. Actually, not this Sunday, the Sunday after that. So October 25th, we've got our Sunday reading coming to you featuring two poets and a Q&A discussion after that. And let's say you happen to be in DC and you want to visit the space. We actually have an art exhibit and an installation going on right now about Afrofuturism. So shout out to Joel Crooms for that. So definitely come check out the space in a safe manner if you're able to. And if not, peruse around the American Poetry Museum Facebook page and check out videos from the past and come join our community. We want you here. We love your spirit. We want that warmth. So please join us. So we're going to get to the poetry in just a minute, but I do want to point out this is a multilingual open mic. So if you noticed, I read my poem in Spanish. We've had Amharic before, we've had Urdu before, we've had lots of different languages. So all of the poets sharing tonight are welcome to share their work in whatever language they want, multilingual keyword. And I also want to let you know that even though we're in this virtual space, we feed off of community. We want to feel you here with us. So even though we can't hear you, we can't see you, use your reactions on the Facebook page, right? Love us, like us, give us emojis, comment, share your thoughts. Let us know that you're here with us and you're enjoying with us. All right? Sound good? I can't hear you, but I'm assuming that that's good. I know my poets are ready. Oh, I got a heart from one of our poets tonight. So without further ado, I am going to introduce our first artist of the night. Please give it up for Javon.
Thank you, everyone. Greatly appreciated. Before I get started, I miss the stage a lot. This is my first time actually, well, maybe third time doing poetry virtually, but I really do miss the stage. It is actually the presence of the audience that really gets me going. So thank you again for allowing me this opportunity to share my work. I'm gonna share two pieces. One is a haiku. I think you mentioned that earlier. I do love haiku, so I'll share a haiku and then my main piece. This haiku is untitled, but let's just go with elephants. Even elephants can go unseen and unheard if quiet too long. My black joy. My joy, black joy, is the moment grandma allows me to step into the pearly gates, to enter her kitchen in the sky, to see the history, smell the culture of my people via mashed potatoes and gravy, turkey, mac and cheese, collard greens, and hot water cornbread. My joy, black joy, is when I pretend to moonwalk like the king of pop and gracefully harmonize to his words while wearing my dad's school days t-shirt with reruns of Family Matters streaming in the living room because black families matter. My joy, black joy, is playing video games with my cuz, and we select the hardest difficulty for our minds have been strengthened by hard work and perseverance that knows no bounds. So all enemies beware, or thou shalt see these hands in the name. My joy, black joy, is knowing my people are unbreakable. The rolling tide of change is foreseeable. Dreams deferred are ascertainable, and the dawn of equality and equity are inevitable. My joy, black joy, boggles the mind of who deems us the wretched of the earth, though the only ones on shaky ground are those who would rather deny than amplify, pull down than uplift, hate than congratulate, woefully blind to see the color than to embrace the rainbow that stands before them. My joy, black joy, follows the wise words of the philosopher Issa Rae, in which I too am rooting for everybody black. Everybody with melanin so divine like wine, capable and impeccable, astronomical and phenomenal, intelligent and diligent, erudite and full of light. My joy, black joy, is to shake off and wash away the supremacy, the structural and the systemic, to live and embrace the here and now, rebirth of my spirit. My joy, black joy, is seeing black girl magic and black boy joy not as myth, but as truth, not as a legend, but as a legacy. That is my joy, black joy. Thank you.
Yeah, let's talk about that Black joy. I love a good Black poem. You know, celebrate everything Black. I'm on the same page as you. I'm rooting for everybody Black here. So, Javon, please tell us before you step off the stage, the virtual stage, where can people connect with you? Where can people find you?
You can follow me at my Twitter, Javon, on the program, or you can actually look at more of my poems at medium.com/at Javon Gord. Feel free to message me, interact with me. I'm also very willing to collaborate with folks.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that. All right. So I'm just going to say over here, you know, Lebanon in the house, Seattle in the house, people tuning in from all over to watch us. And folks are clapping for you, Javon. They said beautiful. So you're getting lots of love. Feel that warmth, feel the applause, even though we can't hear it, right? So we're going to keep it moving because we've got a lot of dope artists tonight. So coming up next, this is someone who is not new to the Mother Tongues open mic. And I'm very excited to see him here. Please give it up all the way from Chile for Juan Esteban.
Hola. Thanks again for the space. So this is an untitled poem, and here it goes. The only thing I love about America is the North American college farm peas, and the friends' Instagrams reminds me that I'll probably never again see. The only thing I love about America are its students jumping the metro fees, and the Molotov blowing through the dark New Year's Eve, burning demonios culiados unequals desires for an egalitarian idea of liberty. And all I remember will be its necessity of violence, justifiable violence, and then all the others. And all I will remember will be a story about traveling through time and space and mud, tons of mud. But the things I love about America is its representation and parliamentation, and the idea that to change a constitution can trigger a fascist counter-revolution. And all I remember will be a Molotov over the garden wall, fire and flame, guanaco in the dark, light my way. Hold my hand so I can walk back home and rest in a bed and go out to vote for no more. So now I got a Spanish poem. Aunque nada es mensaje, si hay masaje. 1. Y decir adiós a cuerpos intermedios a las 10 o 11 de la mañana sonámbulas sin ser suficiente es decir hola, en dígitos discretos que se pierden entre los bosques de ojos que no ven y dientes que no leen, en plataformas análogas precuadriculadas necesitadas de un cierto nivel de astucia. Para no entender una conversación digital es un acto adaptativo y disociativo, como ser ir a Rancagua, Obama, no quiero ir a Rancagua, dame más agua que no me agrada, y me cansa y gira. El cuerpo solo es un error. 2, para ir a una cabaña sin ventanas y con tubos y mangueras de las que huelen a plástico, para llenarlos de aire marrón en una pieza del barnizado benceno. Se pueden ver con claridad los problemas de la cola fría mal aplicada en tus muebles de tablas mal trabajadas. Aconsejo dejarlas comer caos 2 horas y 1 año. Dejar pegado cualquier arroz y ves cómo se aplanan solas. Agarran forma, toman conciencia y desaparecen con el formón, y su mango neón que corta astillas te corta a ti, mírame 3, a los ojos inundados con lágrimas ácidas de sulfúricas raíces. Nos muestras tus intenciones malignas, no son nenúfares que huelen como azar, corte vertical de torta panqueque naranja. Dame más atención constante, limítame a pensar que me equivoqué de rubro. La telequinesis nunca fue una opción, pero la bola de cristal mira hacia solo un lado de la carretera, sin fijarse que vienen las aspas del avión 707, falló el motor, cayó de cabeza, explotó el reactor, lloró en televisión nacional japonesa como un maricón. Palabras impresas en contextos apropiados no valen en este cupón. No sea weón, no pierda el tiempo, ¿qué es oro? Oro falso, engañado, metales prensados, pedacitos pasados. Thank you.
Juan Esteban, always with that fire. I swear, I love your poetry. I really do. Like there was like a line, what was it, like comer caos? And then What was the one that you just said? It was like like oro falso. Is
Oro
that
falso.
what was that the line? Yeah, I was like, oh my goodness. And I gotta say that the people in the live stream are sending you lots of love. We got a Dare Juanito in there. We got a Grande. I'm so proud, you know. So you're doing it. Juan, tell the people if they don't know already, where can we find you? How can we connect with you?
I'm on Instagram. It's _Juaneco_. I've got some maps there.
All right, thank you. Y'all heard it, okay? Go ahead, follow Javon, follow Juan Esteban, keep connected with this community. That's what APM is all about, building communities, creating dialogue. All right. Speaking of the comments, I will say that I did post the website for the American Poetry Museum, and I did also post the PayPal. So if you enjoy what we do here and you feel so inclined to donate, please feel free to do so. Any little bit helps. We're doing it for the arts. We're doing it for the community here. All right, but we're going to keep it moving. And next up, we've got, I'm excited to hear this next person read because she told me she was nervous. And I was like, why? And she was saying, it's her first time reading. And I got to tell you, when people tell me, oh, I'm nervous, I've never read before, I don't do this often, they usually come out with like straight fire. So I've learned not to believe those people. So now, even though she wasn't trying to, she hyped herself up for me. So I'm waiting for her and I'm excited to hear her. And, here she is. Please welcome Azalea.
Hey everybody, I'm really happy to be here. This first poem is for my father. Meet me in a foxhole when the light starts to fade at dusk, just over those hills where the wildflowers grow and the sun meets the soil. We can sing songs that were passed down to your father from his. Meet me in a foxhole when the story has reached the end, when the words run out and all that exists are whispers of wind. It will echo through our bodies with every strum on your guitar. We'll dig up dirt and plant seeds. Mother can manage the rest. Meet me in a memory, ones you recalled when days were long, in the dark, side by side, ready for sleep, staring at the sky. Put a map under my pillow and I'll find us in a dream. Meet me in a foxhole when the lights go out. This next one is called Not Another One. I woke to the sounds of screaming, women and children running through the hills, gunshots in the distance. I woke to the sounds of crying, cradling our youngest in our arms, reminding the eldest of how strong they are. I woke to the sounds of begging, daddy with the shotgun in the dark, mommy sobbing at his feet. They take it all. Our land, our people, our peace. They speak in harsh tones, put their hands on us, ask us to speak up but shut up, then gun down our babies as they run. I woke in the stillness of this sadness, silence crashing all around. Not another one. When I warn my son to keep his cool, to do as he's told, if ever they come for him, looking for a reason. Know your place is what he's hearing. Stay safe is what I'm saying. Head down, hands up, please, not another one. So this is my last one for the night. This is entitled, The Salt That Settled Rusts Over Love. Stench of smoke in my winter coat, Marlboros on the dash. Crawl spaces are necessary for survival. Closets will also do. Broken glass and bloody knuckles, sunlight hazy through swollen eyes. She takes her coffee black, bruises to match. Sounds of bacon sizzling say it's safe to enter. Her head hung, says we should speak very little. I can be sure that she hates him, but there are days, moments, when I wonder if she hates us too.
Azalea, that was beautiful. You know, your poetry is very intense and it brings up a lot of emotions, but the way that you read it and the way that it's written as well, it's very, almost in a way, calming, and it's almost soothing. And rather than sitting in the intense, strong emotion, yes, thank you for that word, soulful. Yes, it's very soulful the way that you read it. And rather than sitting in that intense emotion and feeling overwhelmed or feeling, spiraling or anything like that, it almost makes you feel seen. And it allows the person to enter in a safe way. So I really appreciate that about your work. And like I said, I was hyped to hear you read, and you proved me correct. I had reason to be excited to hear you. So, whether this was, I don't know if I believe this was really your first time, but if this was your first time, I hope you continue to share your work, because your work is beautiful and it's powerful. So please continue to do that. And I think everybody here agrees. And judging from the comments, everybody in the comments agrees as well. Okay, you're getting lots of claps, you're getting lots of hugs, you're getting lots of hearts, snap, snap, snap. Okay, so so thank you so much for sharing. I'm glad you're here.
Thank you.
All right, folks, talking about the comments, keep that love coming in, okay? We need to feel you here. I feel you here. And, we want to keep that going all throughout the night, all right? So thank you. And I see someone shouting us out from Mexico. So shout out to Mexico. All right. So we're going to keep it moving. And we've got another person coming from us from the international realm. This dear of ours is like what, like 1:52 a.m. for you now? So she's coming to us from Beirut right now, and she's sacrificing her late night just to be with us in community, share space, share energy, and share her work and talent. So please, 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 please give it up for Maha.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm so glad to be here, and thank you for the invitation by the American Poetry Museum. So I'm really happy. I don't share my poetry a lot either, so but I'm really happy for the support of this community, and I think it's a great opportunity to share what everyone's been going through. I mean, in the international world, and it's just so much emotion out there, and there's just so much to say, I think. Okay, so this poem I actually wrote today, so it's kind of a rough draft, but like it's about the Beirut explosion that happened about 2 months ago. So it's something related to that. I've called it Glass. Carefully dusted empty rooms, framed smiles on football fields, a large pot of mlhiye bubbling softly for a table set for two. Rhythmic jarring sounds of sweeping, shattered glass, yet pavements still seem to glitter with sandy remains. Turn right at the next turn, it says. But there is no right, only piles of broken homes blocking roads. So I park and walk instead, passing by a man who satisfyingly crunches into the first bite of a tightly wrapped falafel sandwich, smiling under my mask at an elderly couple in Nike shoes, silently striding around their block, hands brushing at every other step. Gazing softly at the excitement of a little boy, frantic with the freedom of the outdoors, immersed in the joy of jumping over the cracks in the sidewalks. Sidewalks where footsteps softened the shards into a glittery dust, where what little remains of windows have curled and sunk, unseen. So that's my first one. There's another poem that I wrote a couple of months ago. It's about like the revolution that was happening in October and the protests that were happening in Beirut as well, and you know, the aftermath of that as well. So it's kind of, it's a bit of both, just some background. I called it Still. Stomping feet, red, white, and green flags lifting in awe, chants of anguish filling the streets, people gathering, hearts bursting, first in hope, then in grief, throats sore from screaming, legs frozen in fear, eyes clouded in tears of smoke. Then stillness. Parked cars crowd the sidewalks that feel no footsteps. A lone kayak seller wanders the streets, his customary call echoes in a city that seems alive only with birds whose songs are finally heard, with cats whose wails are never ending, while doors remain shut. Families within, watching, listening, waiting for any news of change. The hours of digital clocks make no sound. Across highways and over mountains, the endless fields of green wheat, the yellow daisies that burst from the earth, the tenderness of orange blossoms have faded into the dried thorns of summer. But still growing, blackberries and fragrant gardenias, still boiling coffee, thick and bitter into porcelain cups, savored with dates wrapped in delicate buttery shells. Still loving the eyes that wrinkle into smiles above colorful masks, still enjoying the sounds of laughter that carry across screens, reliving stories that still can be heard beyond walls, still alive with love that can be felt anywhere. Thank you.
Maha. I first want to take a moment to just invite everybody to take a breath. That was another set of intense poems, and I thank you for sharing that with us, and I thank you for bringing us back to those moments that are still very real for a lot of people. And you know, I hope that you're doing well there, and I hope that your loved ones are doing well. Now, the poet in me also wants to greatly appreciate how dope your work is. There were so many lines in there, like even over here in the comments, someone is saying then stillness, you know, they liked that line. Another person is saying that it was hard to believe that that was just your first draft. You know, there was so much that you said there, and one thing that I really appreciated is that, like, I know one line that came to my mind was like the tears of cloudy smoke or something like that. It was something like that. Tears of smoke. Yeah. Clouded with tears of smoke. Yes. And then, you know, in your second poem that, you know, you talk about all of this chaos, right? Like it's different. It's not normal. And then, you know, you're talking about the smell of gardenias, you're talking about coffee, and, you know, just showing that juxtaposition and, you know, giving us that imagery and letting us step into that world. You know, like
Beirut is both chaos and beauty and everything, really.
And I felt that. I've never been to Beirut. I've never been there before, and I don't know how many folks here have been there. And I could see and feel that juxtaposition of, you know, there's all of this going on, but there's still all of this going on, and you know, the finding that balance of, you know, living amongst the two, and being able to recognize, you know, all that's going on, but then still appreciating what has been there and what is continuing there to grow and, you know, feed us, right? Allowing us to continue.
Yes. Thank you so much.
No, thank you. Thank you. And I forgot to ask, Azalea, and I'm going to ask you too, can you please let us know how we can connect to you? Are you on Instagram? Do you have websites? How can we reach you?
I should publish what I write, but I do not. Like, I'm on social media, but my poetry isn't anywhere, so I should start getting into that, honestly.
Ditto.
I agree.
Ditto, yeah.
Hop on that, and
they're just on my computer, and they're just like just sitting there, and just that's basically it.
At least little snippets, you know, just give us little teases, right?
Okay.
You know, and I'm not alone in that sentiment. People in the comments are asking for you guys, okay? So just know. All right, but thank you so much. And by the way, you're about to make somebody cry. So, so please, you know, continue to share your work. We want more of it. Please feed us more. Okay. I know we're being very selfish in asking you to do that, but I think for both of your works in particular, since we're talking about you two that don't share your work right now, you know, I feel like when you have this gift of being able to write poetry or write in general and spread that message, it's really important to amplify that message. And you don't know how many people are relating to what you're writing. So it's important for you both to keep going. And again, people are agreeing with me in the live stream that you both need to share your work. Not all of it, you know, some of it is personal, some of it is too raw. I totally get it, but you know, make your voices heard and tell your stories. Okay. So hopefully the next time we talk, you'll tell me, oh, you know what I did? So we'll see. We'll see. So folks, thank you so much for sticking with us. We got a couple of more poets left, and I'm going to jump right into it because I know you guys aren't here to hear me listen. You guys are here to listen to the poets, listen to the art. So we are going to keep it going. And next up, we have Bruno coming to the stage. Bruno, my dear, you're on mute.
Okay.
There you go.
All right. This first poem is called Lights Out. So these people who are feeling privileged, the ones that can't wait to see you in order to call law enforcement because you broke a law that never existed, these people cannot define me. They cannot reference me until they know of the heinous crimes and tortures that were bestowed upon my people for no reason at all, simply because they were there and witnessed acts as conspirator to historical excesses and human degradation. Qué pena, mijo, what a shame que tu padre no está aquí. No tendrás que cargar la vergüenza de sus crímenes. You won't have to carry the shame of his crimes. No tendrás que ser perseguido por el fantasma, su negrura. You won't have to be persecuted by the ghost of his blackness. The weight of his skin beating him down at everything he does, working, walking to church, sitting on the steps of his house, going to the swimming pool, making a delivery for the company he works for, simple gestures taken for granted, but carrying death penalties. And when my turn comes, because at some point, Karen, Darren, or the Blue Patrol will find me, living a lawful civil life. When my turn comes up, will I scream? Will I run? Will I call for my mother? Or will I just obey until I die? Because if I obey or I don't obey, you know, what is the fascination with oppressing another group? I mean, what are you proving? That you are privileged? That your unalienable rights are worth more than mine? That I must suppress all my culture, ethnicity, and traditions and morph into a cold-hearted being incapable of kindness, love, and justice? Is that what you want me to be proving? And now I understand why some of my people, the Boricua de la Isla, are quickly losing their accents, their taste for strong coffee and fried foods. They are trading alcapurrias for Caesar salads. They're trading Mavi for Starbucks. They are distancing themselves from their negrura, ethnic blackness, hoping their hair doesn't betray them while attending a wine and cheese soiree. Now I understand why the elder black men were always angry. They were denied and denied and denied and then blamed for not showing up. They were made to work twice as hard for half the credit and belittled in front of their families. They were aware, woke, but nobody heard them, not even their own. I guess it was easier to assimilate than to take up a call for action. I guess it was easier to go with the program and slip through the cracks unscathed. I guess it was easier to be a survivor than a model or a rebel. I guess it was easier to alter your reality in order to fit the status quo.
Very dope. You got time for another poem if you have one.
Yes, I'm just, it's not coming up. It's, man.
Are you doing it from your phone?
Yeah, because I don't
We're
have.
talking about this.
So I was talking about this. Okay.
I do want to, before you, well, you know what? Let me jump into your next poem and I'll talk about you after. Go ahead.
Here we go. It's called El Ritmo. There it is again, my eternal friend, my soul companion, my música. Como te tengo en mis venas, you run through me like children in a park, touching every spot, playing in every area, and never tiring, like you, my música. Oh, how easy it would be to simply call out names and songs and musicians and dance halls, but you are more than that. Tú eres mi ánimo, what makes me tick. You are all for me. You are my tears, my fears. You make me swell with pride. You accompany me on all my journeys, real and imagined. My música. You patato guaguancó me. You tito puente mambo me. You cortijo maela bomba y plena me. You bolero y son montuno me. You sweaty Saturday night dancing in the winter me. You 95-degree in the park summer rumba me. You five conga solo with a clap chord on me. You Fox Street junkie dying at the block party me. You South Bronx Loisaida Mount Pleasant me. You El Barrio Heat Cool by Hydrant Spray me. You Borrero que viva la música at Tolito's funeral me. You are my música because you've always been there with me.
Thank you, Bruno. So, you know, as a fellow Boricua, I really resonated with your work. And I appreciate in particular your first poem, which called out a lot of people that don't want to look in the mirror. They don't want to realize the truth that we're all living in. And I want to take this opportunity to say Black Lives Matter.
Oh, yeah.
And
Okay.
Black Lives Matter does not mean that other lives don't matter, but we have to elevate Black lives because the way that this system is set up and the way that our history has treated communities, it doesn't say Black Lives Matter. So I appreciate you for sharing that, and I appreciate you for bringing that to light and uplifting that. And that's actually...
I was just off at all these people getting killed, you know? It's like, hasta cuándo, you know?
I know. And I felt that. And a lot of people felt that. And I'm looking at the live stream right now, and you're not alone in that sentiment. And that doesn't end with the live stream either. I know there are a lot of people outside that believe that too. But it was important for you to share that because there are a lot of people that don't realize that and they need to hear it. And Javon, that was part of the reason why I appreciated your Black Joy poem so much as well, because we need to uplift what we celebrate and the joyfulness, right? Because there is a lot of joy and we have to live our lives, right? So we got to keep spreading that love, keep spreading that joy, and keep spreading that positive energy together. So thank you for that. Thank you both for that. Bruno, tell us, where can the people find you? Are you
I'm on I'm on Instagram, Bruno El Unico, and I'm on Facebook also. Um, I had some poems that I put out, but not much. But also on Monday nights, I DJ an internet salsa show that I've been doing for the last 2 or 3 years on Salsa Empire Radio. So I'm usually there, and so I'm trying to work with both of them. First it was poetry, then I went into DJing, and now we're just, as a retired man, I'm leveling it off, you know.
Well, you know, the thing is, the two are not mutually exclusive.
No, because I think a lot of times if you look at songs are basically just poems that were set to the real musical meters, you know, and in songs you take poetic license as you do with poetry, and so I think it's very, and that it's been I could talk forever. I just love it.
Yeah, I mean, whenever I think of music and poetry, the first person that comes to mind is Malcolm Friend. That, you know, he writes a lot to music, and I mean, his poetry is dope. So if you haven't heard or read Malcolm Friend, definitely do that. Fellow Boricua, actually. And shout out to Seattle. He's originally from Seattle, so if anybody knows about him. By the way, Bruno, folks want your second poem. Is there a place where they can find your second poem online?
I'll post it. I'll post it on tomorrow. I'll post it tomorrow.
Okay, so follow Bruno.
I was an old home, and the thing is, I just, you know, music. I was gonna do a different poem today, but maybe if they'll ask me to get back again, I'll do it. You'll like that one too.
Oh, you're welcome back anytime. All of you all are welcome back anytime. Like I said, we're here on a monthly basis, so it's fam here.
Yeah, coming back and doing this is very therapeutic.
I'm glad to hear that. Well, thank you for being in community with us.
I'm writing.
All right, we're gonna keep it moving. We got two more artists left. And this next poet I'm going to bring to the virtual stage. He actually just featured with us. And if you did not see that feature, you need to go back and watch it, because him and Gabriela Orozco were just so dope together. And, you know, shout out to Gabriela. You guys really need to take a look at that. And, you know, I'm a little envious of him right now, because him and Juan Esteban, because in Chile it's about to be summer, and now like I had to wear a jacket today, and I'm not too happy about it, but you know, it is what it is. It has to happen, right? But yes, go back and see the Sunday feature reading with Edward Gonzalez and Gabriela Orozco. Dope, dope, dope. And please, please, please give it up for Edward Gonzalez.
Hi, how's everybody going? I'm going to share 4 poems today, and I'm going to project them. I want you to see them. The first 3 are very short. They are called flows. There are different kinds of flows, and it's a way to break writer's block. It's a way to force myself to write very quickly. So these poems are done in 10 minutes or less, right? I kind of almost time myself. I find these little moments, and I try to write it all in one sitting. So they're rougher, but it frees you up, right? So I recommend kind of these short little interval writings. So the first one is called Flow Zero, Day and Night. I step out into deck, peak experience, a home world left behind. The cigarette, the tether, the only string. Above us, against that blue that's left behind, whatever is in itself. The walnut branch extends beyond its peers, just out, unfazed by gravity's snail-paced subjugation. In that night black blur and the day blue buoyancy, the self seeks a view outside its view, a stretch beyond the tendons and the bark, where green and brown, blue, and skin yellows and shadows. Don't say black, don't say sky, don't name the abysses by what they dissolve you into. My mind dies in the solvents, the stars mirror my gaze. The moon is early on the scene, reposed in unfamiliar blue. Right, this next one is it's about writer's block to some extent, right? It's called Flow 6, just before. Just then, I didn't see a rat. Just then, nothing happened really. The tasty idiocy of bending over to bury a cigarette butt in an empty bottle. The tasty nothing before the poem, the gaps. When they take the plates away and dessert is coming before the annotations. That blank porcelain paper, ready and not ready, like young people in the dark. And results can vary just as wildly. And this next one is it's for that moment when you know there's a song in your mind but you can't think of it, right? So that's what this is. What was that song? The name of that song, the sound of that song is here, but mute. Paper scratches, a rustle. That's all I seem to recall. Chris Flip fanning the faint glimmer of that song. This is that song. Interpret it. I will sing it. A whistle, maybe. Oh, the name. I remember the morning coffee drowning it out, that rumbling percolation. Maybe it was 80s weights, something that made me stop and listen. What was it I heard? And this next one is this is not a flow. These are um, kind of, I guess, like informal linguistic documentations of my daughters. So my younger one uses the concept of 5 minutes as a quantifier, right? She uses it as a quantity of things. So I explored that in this poem. 5 minutes. Your 5 minute music, too long for the radio, enough for that chess match. Everything checkered in pieces, alternating in the current of have to do's. I 5 minute phone chess and train in quick reactions. 5 fingers, your hand paragliding, a high five and waiting, inviting our palms. O understands numbers and asks for 10. 10 minutes, 10 fingers, she raises and lowers. You 5 minutes of small bits, 5 minutes of chocolate, 5 minutes till shower, 5 minute danger, 5 minutes strong, 5 minutes sleepy. 5 minute hand wave as you bullfight your mattress. You make 5 minute moves and your sister, she's got her tally. She's got 5 minute blues because the dog bit her 5 minute shoes. 5 minutes left as you hold up 4 fingers, your thumb not sure if it wants to belong. 5 minutes are up. Oh, dad says, oh, 2 minutes more, and you're already naked in your 5 minute whirl. I lose track of time as you both stoke that 5 minute pyre, that 5 minute music, 10 minutes, 15, the song in the frenzy, alternating in currents. I owe. Later tonight, at least 5 minutes from now, I'll look the other way as words do their thing in the yellow black porch where I travel to space. I'll give them 5 minutes and now 1 minute more.
Edward. So first of all, I felt that poem about not remembering the name of the song. And second of all, I might have to bite your style a little bit with that 5 minute poem because
Okay.
that was extremely dope. And I love like where the concept came from, right? Like, I love kids, I really do. And being able to step into the mind of a kid, but then also like elevate it and transform it and evolve it into that poem. Like what? Like I'm serious, man. And folks, of course, I mean, are loving you, uncrack Mr. Gonzalez. So thank you so much for joining us. Again, make sure you watch Ed G's feature from last week. Ed, if the people don't already know where to find you, where can they connect with you?
Instagram, Edward J Gons. That's my handle, and then I'm also promoting Antología Poética UC, Antología Poética UC, just like that. I'm putting together an anthology for my university of poetry. Juan's in it, so good. That's me.
I was muted myself. So very dope. Thank you so much, Ed. So we're going to bring it on over to a fellow Calo Rosario family member of mine. So for those of you who don't know, in my day job, I work at Calo Rosario Public Charter School, which helps adult immigrants in DC learn English, get their GED, get citizenship. I work with the workforce programs. And my dear colleague of mine, Maria Vanessa, she works in our student services department, and she's working hands-on with the students all the time. And right now, she's going to share a poem with us. I'm very excited for her to be here with us. Vanessa?
Hi, thank you, Tatiana. Actually, this is not a poem. This is mostly a letter. It's in Spanish, because Spanish is my first language. So to do something very quick, I had to write in Spanish. So Tatiana knows me very well, and Tatiana knows very well who is my inspiration. So this is a little letter for my son, whose name is Alexis. He's 6 years old. And he has a very something special that I'm gonna say at the end, okay? So I'm gonna start. Alexis, siempre creí que era una mujer que era incapaz de ser fuerte, que siempre iba a haber alguien que me cuidara, que me salvara, que luchara por mí. Siempre fue por mí, por Vanessa, siempre pensé en mí. Pero aquel día que comenzó como una tormenta eterna, terminó con un arco iris que prometía mucha esperanza, que llegaba la calma, que llegaba la fuerza, que era una pequeña luz que iluminaba las vidas a su alrededor y la llenaba de una fuerza suficiente para pelear. Pero hasta que escuché aquel fuerte tuk-tuk, 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 entendí que mi vida realmente comenzaba ahí. Me sentí llena de una alegría indescriptible que llenaba mi corazón. Sin embargo, quisieron arrancar esa alegría de mi vida cuando descubrieron algo que es lo que hace que tú que eres un sol lleno de luz, pueda que tu luz sea tan cegadora que no dejes ver a las demás personas. Dentro de mí salió aquella leona que no sabía que vivía dentro y peleé por ti. Peleo por ti y seguiré peleando por ti. Porque si no lo hubiera hecho yo, entonces ¿quién hubiera sido? ¿Quién te hubiera protegido? ¿Quién te hubiera cargado? ¿Quién hubiera visto toda esa luz angelical que tenías? Todo ese cuerpecito que no sabía cómo defenderse. Solo yo. Dios sabe que te pedí. Dios sabe que peleo por ti. Dios sabe que yo te quería aún sin saber que quería tenerte. Y tú sabías que yo era para ti, porque tú me escogiste. Porque tú, Alexis, eres por lo que yo viví. Por ti yo nací. Por ti yo crecí. Por ti yo soy mamá. Porque tú, Alexis, eres todo para mí. Porque eso que llaman especial en ti, esa luz que emana de ti, se llama síndrome de Down. Y Alexis sin síndrome de Down no sería Alexis. Te amo mucho. Ready. Finish.
Thank you so much, Vanessa.
You're welcome. Thank you so much for letting me express myself.
Of course, that's what this is for. And let me tell you, for those of you who have not met Alexis before, he is one of the cutest kids I have ever seen. My mom called him Guapo. She's always like, how's Guapo doing? How's Guapo? So, he's a beautiful, beautiful spirit. And, with a mom like Maria Vanessa, how couldn't he be a beautiful spirit? So thank you so much for sharing that. It was, you're getting a lot of love, Facebook live stream. You've got hearts going. You've got beautiful, amazing. So muchas gracias por eso. So, folks, we have come to the end of the Mother Tongues Multilingual Open Mic. I want to remind you that I did drop links to the American Poetry Museum website and the PayPal. If you have not already, please like the American Poetry Museum Facebook page. That way you can stay up to date on all of these events. Like I mentioned earlier, this is the Mother Tongues Multilingual Open Mic. It happens on a monthly basis. Our next one is going to be Friday, November 13th. I know, Friday the 13th, right? So if you're superstitious, we'll see how that goes. But we do have in person, we have an exhibition going on right now, an art exhibition installation with Joel Kroom's Afrofuturism. On the 25th, we've got Edward Vidaure and John Manuel Arias, who actually just got a book deal. So congrats to John Manuel for that. And if you haven't already, you know, go ahead, check out our previous videos. If you need that to hold you over until our next reading, please go check that out. Please share. You know, if you feel so inclined to sign up for the Mother Tongues Open Mic, let us know. I'm here. Sammy Miranda's here. Shout out to Sammy. I forgot to shout out Sammy. I'm so sorry. I always give him a shout out. So Sammy's probably just like, mira esta, se olvidó de mí. Oh, look, there's Alexis right there. So, hi, Alexis.
Hi. Dales un beso.
No,
Okay,
I
he's
think
busy.
I think that's a good way to end the night. You know, everybody got to meet Alexis. So thank you, American Poetry Museum. Thank you, Sammy, for helping us have this space. Thank you to all of our dope artists of the evening for sharing your work and sharing your time and energy. And most importantly, thank you to everybody who tuned into the live stream, shared their love with us, commented, shared the video, liked, all of that great stuff. We felt your warmth and we felt your community. So thank you very much, everybody. Have a good night. Alrighty.